came to a point of conflict because the president directed that the road should be redesigned on concrete, and it should also be 6 lanes. That's 3 lanes per carriageway. But the funders, China Exim Bank, says, look, we can't do 3 lanes per carriageway. We have to do 4 lanes. And so we intend to do public engagement with the stakeholders of the Northeast, and of course to discuss. He said that we convince the bank to agree on the directive of Mr. President, or we agree on 4 lanes for the 2 carriageway, and we'll go back to Mr. President to obtain approval. So we are on top of the matter, and so I just want to debunk the fact that there is no legacy project. The 4 legacy projects are all dotted in the 6 geopolitical zone. And then you have the Trans-Hara that is running from Calabar to Ebonyi to Benue, Benue to Kogi to Nasarawa to Abuja. And then with a small stretch between Abuja and Kefi, which we are also doing by China Harbour, we will be able to have that loop connected to the 4th legacy project. And of course, the 2nd legacy project is the Shagari administration designed it to be Badagry, Sokoto, so that it could start Badagry. But Mr. President, in his wisdom, decided I should start from Sokoto down to Badagry. And it's about 1,050 kilometers. And so we have started the first section of it, which is in Ilela in Sokoto State, which is 120 kilometers. We're starting with 3 lanes first, and then the second section is starting in Kebbi, and that is 258 kilometers by 3 carriageway. It will still be 6 carriageway, but we are procuring the first carriageway, and by the month of March, we will start to procure the second carriageway because it's cost effective to start the 2 carriageway, at a go. And let me also point out that the Trans-Hara has started from Ebonyi State and is progressing towards Sokoto State. And then the 4th legacy project is the Lagos-Calabar Coastal Highway. Let me remark that we are making everything possible, and we will be in Sokoto next week, to ensure that we have 10 kilometers of concrete road completed in Sokoto and 10 kilometers completed in Kebbi by the middle of May, so that we can have it, commissioned. And so this very wonderful project, the Lagos-Calabar, 700 to 750 kilometer, coastal highway, a dream of one man, your son, the golden God-given president of this country, the man that God brought for us to take back our country and make Nigeria great again. He had this dream 25 years ago as governor of Lagos State. He laid the irreversible plans for the greatness of Lagos State, and then thinking also towards the entire Nigeria. And that's why he didn't stop at Lagos. The coastal was dreamed to start from Lagos and end in Calabar, and incorporated other South-South governors at that time. And I'm happy that the South-South governors, some of them, then they have visited now to express their joy and happiness and appreciation to Mr. President, that dream is made flesh now. And so we laid the foundation stone in the month of March 2024. This project, the first section, is 47.47 kilometers. And each of these legacy projects has a train track incorporated within it. And I've always said the ingenuity of using concrete is that Nigerian government will earn carbon credit because the use of concrete emits less heat, and so it's environmental friendly, and so we earn carbon credit. And of course, we're also using solar energy, which means that we earn carbon credit because we are not burning diesel. This is very important. And so the first section, 47.47 by 3 lanes per carriageway, is getting to a Leko, junction. And today, miraculously, for a project that's supposed to last for 36 months, 3 years, we would have been able to be singing hallelujah in commissioning the entire stretch, save for the unforeseen circumstance. And what was it? We had to reroute the Section 1 to a safe corridor as directed by Mr. President to avoid demolition of a lot of properties within that corridor, even though they defied the law, because the gazetted route was done by the President, approved by Lagos State government. But people defied it and they massively built on the gazetted section of the road. But we had to navigate to ensure, because this government is a government with human face. And so we've been able to do that. And so we encountered a lot of, situation that we didn't envisage. We had over 10 kilometers of the route that we covered with, topsoil. But we didn't know that this section had witnessed a lot of refuse dump over many years. And so we had the responsibility of excavating up to 10 meters and the sand fill back to existing ground level and, of course, take it up to the design level. And then that needed settlement. And so we came together with the contractor and agreed that there should be no immediate, work there. But today, I'm happy we went through again. We conducted tests. Settlement has been achieved 100%, and we are on the move. So what we could do by May is that we've agreed with the contractor and is going to affirm it magically to have the first 20 kilometers seamlessly, from Channel 0 down to Channel 20, ready for Mr. President to commission in May. And another 10 kilometers from a Lake Junction coming towards, Channel 37, ready for commission. And that is 30 kilometers in Section 1. And then we'll be left with about 17 kilometers. But the good news is that all sand filling is being done up to Lake Junction. And for the management of the properties, we have done our best. We've listened to the President, we've listened to God, we've listened to the people. And so we just have only one building standing on the way. And I decided to come by myself to honor the owner of the building. I've had a personal meeting with him, just like I did with some of you. We resolved amicably. And so, but what I directed is that let work continue and stop at his fence. Then work will also continue at the other side of his fence. So his house is starting at the middle of the road. So we have discussed, and I believe strongly that we understood ourselves. And that is the only property. We are aware that some people took us to court, but the beauty of democracy is that the court will interpret the instrument we used in doing what we did. And we will be very obedient to court, decisions on it. But we have 7 SANs to defend us because we believe that we've done the right thing. And so when we move to Section 2, we are confronted with the beautiful, project of the Lekki Free Zone. And that's also part of the President's dream when he was governor. A beautiful place, a place that is going to be a very serious source of income for this government of Nigeria. And so we have the Dangote refinery. We have to pass in front of it. So we have come to design 80 meter span bridge over that section so that here we have seamless truck movement without having any obstruction. We've met with the Lagos Free Zone. We've met with the Lekki Free Zone. We've had discussion with them on Friday, and they will resolve all their problems. It's going to cost us a little more because we are putting flyovers, over the conflict points. And we have also avoided moving through the land of Navy. We had to navigate that, and we also had to navigate destroying a school. And so the enumeration of Section 2, is being concluded. And so the revocation, of course, has been signed by the Lagos State Governor, both Sections 1 and 2. And so we will be willing to entertain, questions, answers, appreciation, as the case may be. For Section 3, graciously, Mr. President directed that we should go to Cross River and Akwa Ibom. And so we have awarded Section 3 3A in Cross River, 3B in Akwa Ibom, and that's a total of 65 kilometers by 2. And by next week or upper week, we'll go there to officially have it flagged up for construction. But this is what we have done. Now, for the sections of Ondo, the section of Delta, the section of Port Harcourt, the continuous section in Akwa Ibom and Bayelsa, we are confronted with a lot of bridges, some as long as 3 kilometers. We don't want to do that. That is going to cost us a fortune. So we are redesigning, going to the upland, of the corridor. And so that is going to eliminate about 90% of the bridges, so that will be cost effective, and then there will be return on investment. This is what is happening in the Lagos-Calabar Coastal Highway. And let me say that this is beyond road and bridges. It is an investment. Along the corridor, we're going to have a lot of commercial activities. Of course, tourism is going to grow in a very, dignified and intensified manner. We're going to have windmill energy, so that communities along the corridor will also have this thing. This coastal highway is going to be connecting to the existing, routes. A lot of them we inherited, and I will give you synopsis of what we have done in some of these projects. So this is what we can say about the four legacy projects of Mr. President, and in particular, the coastal highway. I commend very, very highly the contractor. And I say boldly and publicly, we are fortunate to have the contractor High-Tech as the contractor, for this. Whether you like it or not, even though the project is a coastal highway, there are projects that we inherited ongoing that are not on the coast, but whose cost, the unit rates, are bigger than the unit rates that we are giving High-Tech to do this job. Number two, they are amenable to, our realignment and rerouting. Any other contractor will stop work and say until we agree. We've never witnessed that. And then if you see the equipment of High-Tech, when the National Assembly saw the equipment, everybody has always voted High-Tech will do the jobs in our state. I say, High-Tech, even though an indigenous contractor, we have to grow other indigenous contractors. That's why we did not recommend them in Abuja, Kano, both sections 1 and 2. Not that they did not win, but we said, let us give other indigenous contractors some opportunities. But I assure the people within that corridor that we will not get anything less than the quality of High-Tech on that corridor. And so that takes me to some of the review of projects in Southwest. And since we came, we went to Lagos-Badagry. We have about 4 kilometers to conclude section 1, and then section 2 is about 21 kilometers. We are discussing with the contractor how to complete this section 1, and then we now decide, because this corridor is the ECOWAS corridor. That's the part of the 1,006 kilometers ECOWAS road, Lagos-Ibadan. And I'm the chairman of ministers of that project. And so what we are recommending is, since our own section is just within 45 kilometers, and we've done over 50%, let every state every nation do their own, and they tow. Well, that is not why we are here, but it's important that you know. So we are going to be completing that section 1 to have it commissioned in this May. And we went to see Ikorodu to Shagamu, being done by Arab contractors. We've had meetings with them. This morning we concluded a meeting with them. And it's remaining about 2.3 kilometers to be done on rigid pavement. So we are going to have it completed, and we're going to have it, commissioned in May. We've discussed with Itoke Ikorodu project being done by Guild, and we've agreed with them on the new design of the project. And the project is of very utmost importance to the people of that location. And so you will see a new vigor and a new commitment and a speedy construction within that section. Now, we will discuss very briefly Echo Bridge, Tom Mainland Bridge, and Kata Bridge. What is going on Tom Mainland Bridge? We have cured the problem. But you have to talk to our people. The speed there is so terrible. If we put speed bumps, then it's going to create, hold up on the bridge. And that is dead load. There's no bridge that is designed for dead load, but dynamic load. So we don't want to do that. But we have installed cameras, both on top and under. We will have it commissioned. And so we will put people that are going to check over speeding on that bridge. Let me also announce that beyond the Tom Mainland Bridge, we've also done extension of that bridge, the rehabilitation. A beautiful to behold from that Tom Mainland Bridge down to Falamo. We put street lights. We also put CCTV. So whatever you are doing with that stretch of Falamo to Tom Mainland Bridge and the ramps, we are seeing you. It's on camera. And we are also routing it down to Abuja. So we stay in our office. That's what we did in Second Niger Bridge. And now, we've closed the Tom Mainland Bridge. Why did we do that? There are some structural issues that we are handling. And there are three sets. The first set, the decking, changing of the expansion joint, we've completed that. You can see a smooth ride. But you are not seeing what is under the deck. And under the deck, we are working on it, both Kata Bridge and the Tom Mainland Bridge. Lagos-Ibadan is doing it, they are doing a beautiful job. And they are working on the piers, the pillar if you like. And then what is aggregating the piles together is called the pie cap. And then of course slight deflection of the slab. So they are working on it, they are doing a beautiful job. But where we have very serious issue is what is in the water. We ran a discussion with an international company this morning, and we have looked at the situation in 2013. We've looked at the situation of the survey in 2019. We've commissioned ISECON and the Lagos-Ibadan independently to also look at the progressive deterioration of the piles and pile caps under the water. We are getting reports and we're going to design it. There's nothing to fear about, but we've closed the bridges against heavy trucks. So trust us, we are going to cure that problem because there was relatively no maintenance of the bridge over a long time. And for Echo Bridge and Marina Bridge, I think we have the opportunity to, commission Echo Bridge. Massive work. It was burnt down completely. The bearings were gone. We are lifting the entire slab. We are changing the bearings. We are, reworking the piers. We are recoating it with concrete. We are strengthening it. We are also milling the top of the deck. We are putting new asphalt. We are putting solar light, and we are painting. That is what we have over there. Yesterday, we went to flag off the Lagos-Ibadan, and I will tell you that Lagos-Ibadan, has 4 components. There is what is called Phase 1. Phase 1 was done about 43 kilometers dualized by, 3 lanes by Lagos-Ibadan. We had some failures, but not very significant. I announced that they have repaired it, very beautiful. We also have Phase 1, Section 2 by RCC. Unfortunately, the Ibadan bound has massively failed. We were there yesterday, and your people caused rain to, I think the contractor bribed them to cause heavy rain there. But we defied the rain to inspect the job. And so, we could see that the road has failed. But they have started to repair it, but it's going to be massive repair. And that made us to give out a policy that any payment now in Ministry of Works must come with the APG must be alive and sustaining. And then the performance bond must be alive and performing. So that if you do a bad job and within the time of deferred liability period, you are not able to repay it, we have to go to the bank and get the money to do it. So we have directed RCC to come and see us so that we agree. on that job. And again, they have about 8.5 kilometers that is not yet completed. So we're setting up a committee to ensure they complete by the month of April so that we can have it commissioned. It's long overdue. I assure you that by May, we will have that job, commissioned. And that is section 1, phase 1, sections 1 and 2. On the phase 2, we have the section 1 and section 2. Section 1, what we have done is it includes all the heads of the flyover they built. They were not finished. There are rules, the Redeemed Christian Church axis. We have the Wawa, you have the Ogun Bridge, you have the, Arapo Bridge, and so on. But we have also included, 12 kilometers by 2 on Shagamu to Iberu. We have done that as part of this package. And we have had it awarded. And we went yesterday to flag it up by Mr. President, represented by the governor of Ogun State. That's been successfully done. Construction has commenced and is going to be done on concrete, rigid pavement. And we're going to be very happy. If you go there to see the level of mobilization by CBC, you'll be very, very, happy, and it's quite entertaining. Now, we have also taken off, 48 kilometers by 2 that is remaining to get to Ore. The Ore axis is good, but from the interchange, we've taken 12 kilometers, the remaining 48 kilometers. We are awarding that within the first week of March, so that the entire stretch, will be reworked, to the glory of God. We are working on Elisha to Akure, Akure to Benin. We've just awarded those 2 sections to High Tech, but the fund is so big. So I'm going to be applying to Mr. President for renewed hope infrastructure funding to, take it over and work on it. And of course, section 4 of the Lagos-Calabar Coastal Highway is going to be at Ondo. We are concluding the design of that project. Time will fail me to tell you other sections, but the completion of Lagos-Ibadan phase 2, we also end at Ibadan, the Ibadan axis. And we are doing the procurement, and that will be the end of the famous Lagos-Ibadan. But one thing is certain. What will we be coming back to advocate with the stakeholders is to allow us to some of these completed projects, section by section. Because when I look at completed projects, while we are struggling to have money to complete some of the ongoing projects, we see that some of the projects have stayed 15 years and are beginning to fail. So if we don't give it to private investors on, operate and maintain, we are going to run into trouble. So Lagos-Ibadan, that phase 1 is finished, we would like to toll it while we work on section 2, so that the private sector will participate actively. And this is what we want to do throughout the entire geopolitical zone, so that the private sector people will get involved. This is what we are doing. And time will fail me to tell you the ongoing projects in Ekiti State, the Ondo State, Oyo State, Osun State. In fact, we are working in all the 6 zones. And when we look at the Northwest, we have the Kano-Hadija route fully completed by President Bola Ahmed Tinubu in Kano State, and it's going to be commissioned in May. It's over 200 kilometers. And we're going to lay the foundation stone of the famous Kano Northern Bypass. Work is going there, but the President is going to lay the foundation stone. This is very critical. In KB, we have the Malando. Work is going. Of course, the Legacy Project, 258 kilometers, is ongoing. In Sokoto, the 120, we also other projects of Mr. President that are ongoing. Beautifully, from Sokoto to Zamfara, we have about 58 kilometers of concrete road ongoing, 3 lanes, which will be ready for commissioning, by Mr. President in the month of May. And that is the 375 kilometers that is running between Sokoto to Zamfara, Zamfara to Katsina, Katsina to Kaduna. So in all this stretch, The first stretch by CBC, second stretch by Cetraco, third stretch by Tractor, and fourth stretch by Motorcart. Will we have over 30% of these projects completed? We should have done better, save for insecurity. So we're going to have them ready, for commissioning, because we're going to be commissioning section by section. And that's what we have. And of course, the Abuja-Kano is going on. We have awarded the first section, 1 and 3. Section 2, which is 82 kilometers by 2, has gone to procurement so that we take it to effect. But the important thing in this road is that the road is going to be reconstructed on rigid pavement, just like what you see in Lagos-Calabar, highway. Time will fail me to tell you the jobs that are going on in other, states of Northwest. But if you come to South-South, we were in South-South on Tuesday, and we were on East-West Road. And let me say that we have Abuja to Lokoja. We have about 4 contractors that are ongoing there. The guild is working on about 63 kilometers, on asphalt. We have the true Crete that is working 48 kilometers, and that is the one that Bulletin left. So we are reworking it. We have 3 small contracts that are ongoing there. And then we have also the job done by Dantata and Soho, and of course ROCC, brought in about 20 kilometers. JRB is working on it. And then we progress to the section of Lagos Benin, being done by CGC. And they have substantially done over 80%. Their job is ending at Okene. And then you have the 3 sections that we just, flagged off. A section from Okene that is going towards Benin, you have the CCECC there. And of course, you have the CGC, you have the CBC, and that's the end of the Lokoja Benin. And then you get to Benin, then you have the Levant is constructing the first one. We have to redesign that project on concrete. And then you move down, you see the guild in another section, and then the last section to Warri is being done by, SKCC Nigeria Limited. This is the East-West Road, and we progressed to really where we had a washout, and it's about 3 kilometers. It's being reconstructed on concrete pavement. Over 60% has been done. And then we now get to our other side, where we have section 1 of the job being done by Cetraco fully completed and ready for the president to commission in May. And then we have the section 2 that is still ongoing by the Cetraco, and that will take us to the end of the year to commission. But we have another washout there, which is 1.5 kilometers being reconstructed on concrete pavement. That is ongoing. And of course, we have 3 failed bridges there that we are working on. Very important. And then you now move to Eleme Junction to One. That's the most trafficked road in the country. And that is 15 kilometers dualized. We've redesigned it on concrete, and we've achieved over 40% on one carriageway. And we believe that the first carriageway will be concluded by May so that we'll have it commissioned. That project has 5 flyovers, and they compile. And so we progress towards Eket, where the last, section within Akwa Ibom, on that, inherited project is ongoing on by Chito. And of course, 9-kilometer bypass that we are filling to construct so that vehicle will not go through the road. And then you move down towards the end of Akwa Ibom. Then you get CCCC that is on a section that is leading off from Akwa Ibom to Cross River. And after CCCC will get the Beja. We've terminated Beja, and we have recommended a company through competitive bidding, I think Rycon, to finish that section. And of course, you have indigenous contractor Samatech doing fantastic work in Calabar axis. And that's the end of what we are doing in East-West Road. But not to say that, like in Cross River, we have the Ugape project road that has been awarded. We are working on it. We have 2 bridges, within Calabar and the Ebonyi State that we are connecting. And so time will fail us to say the projects we are doing in Bayelsa, of course, we are working, and other section in Port Harcourt. And if I don't say what we are doing in other, in other zones. People will not be happy. But let me say in Southeast, we have the Port Harcourt to Enugu. We have 4 sections there. From Lokpanta in Enugu to Enugu boundary, we have a CGCA working, and it's 63 kilometers. By the end of April, they would have completed that section. It will be ready for the president to commission. We also have 2 fair bridges, 4 span each, being reconstructed by CCCC to be ready for president to commission. At the depot over there, at Obinago there in Enugu State, we have a flyover, very wonderful complex flyover being constructed there to avert traffic jam because of the fuel depot there. That will be ready in April for commissioning. Now, I'm reading in social media, and I promise any contractor organization that tackles with me by, getting the public to demarcate us, we will wash our dirty linens in public. So I saw when people send me texts, oh, you are sabotaging the election of President Tinubu in Southeast by placing stop work order on Enugu to Onitsha. When I saw it, I said to the person, it's a shame to you. And so it started to circulate it. But let me say briefly what is going on. This is a project by MTN on tax credits, 107 kilometers by 2. And we inherited it, and the cost was 202 billion. And all that was being achieved to date is 38 billion, with about 14 billion variation on price. I don't believe in it. But we have to close our eyes so that things can move. Now, there is a problem. The president has stopped review of all tax credits. And I work for Mr. President. I obey him. And so what we did with my PAM secretary as an engineer is to say, okay, you have paid 50 billion. How much can you pay with the balance of the 150 so that we stay within the initial signed contract so that we do not violate the directive of the president? And that's what we have done. So we discovered that they can do 79.6 kilometers. And that's what we scope for them. But the way they are doing that job is not the way tax credit runs. We're just coming from Lagos, Lekki, where Dangote is doing tax credits. I forgot to say that section 1 is remaining about 7 kilometers. It's being done by High Tech on subcontract to Dangote. And that job is beautiful and is going to be, completed before May for commissioning. The section 3 is also at Ekpe there. It's going to be. So you are not waiting to make profit every month to apply it to the job. You are to take your money, do the job, and then you are discounting, when you bring your tax. But that is not what is going on in Enugu to Onitsha. So we have descoped about 72 kilometers of that route to be awarded, and that will complete that section. So we are doing a meeting with MTN by Monday to commit to finishing this project by the end of the year. Because every month you exceed, the government is paying more. The government is paying more. So when people darken council without knowledge, I say shame unto them. And this is the truth about that. We have no reason to stop the work, but we have every reason to do the right thing. And it's not peculiar to that job. That's what we are doing in all the projects. And so, this is what we are doing. We also have some jobs, Enugu to Abakaliki. It's an ongoing project. We have, Afipo to Abia to Okiwe. It's an ongoing project. And of course, one of the legacy projects of Mr. President. And so, we are not sabotaging the president. The president, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, is going to have 99% of the votes of Southeast because he has been very nice to the people of Southeast. And we will leave Southwest to give us 99.99% 2027. I enjoyed social media when one man was insulting me that I went to Sokoto to say, look, we will not be able to finish the entire Sokoto Badagry in 4 years. We need extra 4 years. And of course, a man that has the courage to do what was dreamt 45 years back is the only man that will have the courage to finish it. And I say we must vote for him in 2027. And he was insulting me, but I love such insult because it will make me to say more. The president must be re-elected by the power of God. Those in support say aye. The ayes have it. So I want that man insulting me to hear that. In the North Central, I'm rounding off. The North Central, we have 2 projects going on in Shandam in Plateau State. We have failed bridge in Shandam, about 3 span that we have completed, ready for commissioning. In North Central, we have the Buruku Bridge is ongoing. The Buruku Road is ongoing. In North Central, we have Abuja-Lokoja is ongoing. Of course, the Lokoja to Okene is ongoing. We have the Kaba-Ekiti. We've awarded that project. It's ongoing. We have the Kefi, Maraba to Kefi project is ongoing. I say this to say that there is no section of the Chisik geopolitical zone that the president is not working. And lastly, in the Northeast, you have the Meduguri to Kano, the first section. We've terminated the job from Dantada and Soho, and we have redesigned it, and we're going to award it by the first week of March to be done. We have checked the jobs from Jigawa to Bauchi, where we had a number of failures. We have scoped them. I went through that during the rainy season, and we've seen what the climate change could do to our roads. We've redesigned such sections, and they are going to be awarded for construction. We have the Meduguri bypass. That project is going to be awarded, by the month of March. This is Northeast. We have project in Gombe. We have project in Bauchi. All of them are ongoing. And of course, the legacy project that we got in Bauchi and Gombe. And in fact, Bauchi and Gombe, out of 462 kilometers of that fourth legacy project, Bauchi and Gombe constitute over 60% of it. This is very important. So when people say that projects are not going in Northeast, I can give them projects of heart. And these are just the ones I could remember that the president inherited, the president is doing, and the president is also doing new projects to connect to all the 4 legacy projects, and of course with rail. And so I have every reason to boldly say that we are on course. The inherited projects have not been stopped. We are giving serious attention to the heritage projects that are within the economic corridor of this country. And I've mentioned them to you here. And this is very important. We have every reason to be very appreciative to Mr. President. The economy is bouncing back. The exchange rate is almost stabilized. It's going to do much better. We are having the GDP growing. We are having the fuel prices coming down. They always say that the dawn is the darkest part of, the night. We'll be there with prayers and commitment. America will say America first. A time has come when a man that is divinely come by God is on the saddle, and we begin to say Nigeria first. We begin to say Nigeria first. We need your cooperation. We need your prayers. We need your commitment. To make an omelette, we must break an egg. Some people want to make omelette without breaking an egg. It is not possible. So I want to thank you again and again for listening to us. You ask us questions on anything, and they will be able to answer you within the limit of our knowledge. God bless you, and thank you very much.